Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly, and I'm speechless. Before I tell you why, I have to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, SportsQ Trivia. And really all I have to do is remind you guys that there is going to be another game tonight, another NBA trivia game where you guys can compete live against other users. It's as simple as that, and if you win some cash. Also, don't forget that it is also now available on Android. Links to download both on iOS and Android will be down in the description box below. Anyways though, as I was saying, I'm speechless for a couple of reasons really. First and foremost though, if anyone besides Brad Stevens wins Coach of the Year this year, there have to be some protests, there have to be some riots. This dude has his team up 2-0 in the NBA playoffs without their two best players plus Marcus Smart. What else could a guy possibly have to do in order to win Coach of the Year? Sure, it's a regular season award, but I mean, come on. His team didn't have the best record in the East, but he's been without his two best players. Come on. And that's no disrespect to any other coach, by the way. There are some other phenomenal coaches out there in the NBA, but in my mind, Brad Stevens, no doubt. In the Boston Celtics as a whole, I don't understand how they keep doing this. It seems like you take players away from them and they somehow get better. In the first two games of the playoffs, if you looked at just stats alone, didn't know that either Kyrie Irving or Gordon Hayward was out for the season or weren't playing, you would think the numbers Terry Rozier has been putting up were Kyrie Irving's, and you would think Jaylen Brown's numbers were Gordon Hayward's. 23 points. 8 assists on 8 of 14 shooting for Rozier and 30 points on 12 of 22 shooting for Jaylen Brown last night. And I honestly don't know what else to say about the Celtics, man. I am speechless. Up 2-0 in the series without their two best players. Salute to Terry Rozier, salute to Jaylen Brown, salute to everyone in the Boston Celtics for continuing to step it up all season long. But now, on to the other reason that I am speechless. And unlike the Celtics, this isn't for a good reason. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm gonna need you to storm into the locker room and smack each and every single other player besides Khris Middleton upside the head and tell them to get out. And get out right now. Those guys ain't winners, my guy. You're not gonna be able to get anywhere with a team that can't play. This has been the second game in a row that it has been a two-man show for the Bucks. Well, let me take that back. Brogdon showed up game one, so he can stay. But outside of Middleton, Brogdon, and Giannis, none of those other guys need to be on your roster next season. For crying out loud, do something, Eric Bledsoe. You were better than you were the first game, but you were still trash. You just upgraded from the entire landfill to a couple of dumpsters. And also, answer me this. How do you come out and say that you don't know who Terry Rozier is? Eric Bledsoe legit said after the game that he doesn't know who Terry Rozier is.
Rozier's gotten off to a strong start to the series, no turnovers in 78 minutes. How personally do you take that matchup?
Who?
Terry Rozier.
I don't even know who that is.
Eric Bledsoe, you just got bodied by the man 2 games in a row. I don't know if Rozier gave you PTSD caused amnesia from when he took your ankles back in game 1 or something, but you can't trash talk to a player who has been absolutely dominating you in the series. How do you sound saying that you don't know who he is? How do you sound? But Eric Bledsoe is just part of the problem though. The Milwaukee Bucks as a whole this year have been easily one of, if not the most disappointing team in the NBA, because they were supposed to be a lock for a top seed in the Eastern Conference. The 4 seed is the lowest that anyone saw them finishing coming into this season, and that was before they traded for Eric Bledsoe. Once they got Bledsoe, they were supposed to at least make the Eastern Conference Finals, and now they're about to lose to the Boston Celtics, who don't have their two best players. Like, no offense, Boston fans, but even you guys have to be surprised with how well this series is going for you. I'm sure you guys didn't even expect to be up 2-0 on the Bucks at this point. And if the Bucks get swept, it's over. I don't know what they will do, but they will have to do something. We already know that Jabari Parker is getting traded. This is a given fact at this point. They're not going to be re-signing him, so look for them to try and do some type of sign and trade deal. On top of that, they should also be trying to move on from Eric Bledsoe already, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do that because the Phoenix Suns had such a hard time trying to give Eric Bledsoe away for free earlier in the season. But I don't know how the Milwaukee Bucks, after the way he's been performing in the playoffs, are going to be able to find some team to take him now, so they're probably stuck with Eric Bledsoe. And other than those two players, the Bucks really don't have many more moves they can make. They don't have other players to trade. You can't trade Middleton. You can't trade Giannis. You shouldn't trade Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, who else do you have? Tony Snell, Matthew Dellavedova, John Henson. Maybe you could find a team that still believes in Thon Maker. Outside of trading Jabari, the Bucks are out of moves to make. And I just remember all of the hype that was surrounding Giannis and the Bucks to start the season, and it's just been so disappointing. Well, Giannis personally hasn't been disappointing. He's been phenomenal, but the Bucks have been so disappointing. I'm starting to wonder just how great this team could have been had they had DeMarcus Cousins still. I for real think if they were healthy that they might have been able to cause some problems for the Golden State Warriors in the second round. That is assuming they finished the job against Portland, which shouldn't be too hard now. This was really a must-win game for the Blazers. They're down 0-2 and headed to New Orleans. They let Pelicans come to their city and go up 2-0. This is going to be really hard for Portland to come back from, and I thought that Lillard and McCollum would come out a lot more aggressive than what they did yesterday. I was expecting a big night for Dame since he's always been a player that seemingly thrives under pressure. He was kept in check though all night. 17 points on 7 of 18 shooting and 7 turnovers. Yeah, that's terrible. But I guess if you're a Blazers fan and want the good thing about this, it would be that Lillard played as badly as he did, and you guys still didn't get blown out. I mean, you were right there in the game up until New Orleans sealed it late, so that's good. All you needed was Dame to have even an average game for either game, and maybe you guys are up 2-0 in the series or at least tied 1-1. Like I was saying though, with the Pelicans, have been a nightmare matchup for Golden State if healthy. I still think it's going to be a hard matchup for the Golden State Warriors, but would they been a nightmare matchup? Now that it's cemented as a fact that playoff Rondo is one of the best point guards in the NBA, and Jrue Holiday is one of the most underrated players in the NBA, checking the other team's best players all night and still dropping 33, yo, that's tough. Anthony Davis has only been the third best player for New Orleans this series, and that's not to say that he has been bad. He has still been terrific, but it's just a testament to how great Rajon, Rondo, and Jrue Holiday have been playing. If the Pelicans can keep DeMarcus Cousins for cheaper, since he's coming off such a major injury, and I don't think anyone should go through a max contract at a guy who's coming off an Achilles tear, but if they can keep him and then go get themselves a solid wing, because no offense to Etwan Moore, he has had some great games this season too, but it'll be better if they could get a nice solid 3-and-D wing and bring him off the bench. This team could be really legit, and I think it might be time to put the free AD stuff to rest, or at least put it on pause for now. I wonder if the Washington Wizards are still relieved that they got to play against the Toronto Raptors in the first round. Not quite the same team they were expecting from a couple years back when they swept the Raptors in the first round, I imagine. DeMar DeRozan showing that he can indeed step it up in the playoffs yesterday as he tied his playoff career high with 37 points. People, the Raptors are legit this year. I don't think LeBron is going to mentally and physically abuse the Raptors in the playoffs like previous years either. The Raptors, you know, in the past have never looked like this. I don't even know what to call it, but I guess they've never looked this real. They haven't flaked yet. Sure, in game one, offensively, DeRozan and Lowry weren't special, but the thing about this Raptors team is how good of a team they are now. It's not just the Lowry and DeRozan show. However, if they're going to get past LeBron in the second round, assuming LeBron makes it past Indy, that is, but despite the fact that he's down in that series, most people still feel the Cavs are favored to win. Anyways, though, like I was saying, in order to beat him, Lowry and DeRozan are going to have to be stars, because LeBron isn't going to let himself get beat by no supporting cast. But even then, I'm not worried about that. Once again, you just had DeMar DeRozan show that he can play in the playoffs, scoring 37 yesterday, and Lowry, even though his shot wasn't falling, he was still doing everything else on the court extremely well with 12 assists and 13 rebounds, and Jonas Valanciunas was also dominant last night. So yeah, this Raptors team, it's for real. They're not going to flake out in the playoffs again. But now let's move on to the Wizards. It's time for the Wizards to move on from the Wizards. The jig is up. After this season, they need to go in a completely different direction with this team. If I was them, I'm keeping Bradley Beal and Otto Porter Jr. That's it. Anyone else can be had for the right price or just the wrong price even at this point. I mean, this team doesn't work, and it really seems like, despite what they say, that they don't like playing with each other. They don't like playing with John Wall because He doesn't trust anybody else with the ball. John Wall is a fantastic player and a phenomenal talent, but he doesn't trust anyone else on the team to make plays besides himself. There's nothing wrong with being a point guard that likes to set people up. You look at Rajon Rondo and how he's playing with the Pelicans right now. He has a similar play style to John Wall, where he can sometimes dominate the ball while looking to get other guys open for a shot. And there is nothing wrong with that completely. But there are a couple of differences between Rondo and Wall. First off, I believe Rondo has a much higher basketball IQ. Look, Wall's isn't low. It's just that Rondo has one of the highest in the NBA, and it's always been like that. And secondly, Rondo trusts his teammates to make plays as well. He understands that while he can set guys up, sometimes it's best to give the ball up and let someone else make a play. John Wall just seemingly refuses to do that. Anyways though, Raptors up 2-0 in this series, and I fully expect them to finish this in 5 games max. That does it for this video though. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. Thank you again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, keep getting the buckets, Team STC, and I'm out of here. Peace!